Hi, and welcome to another edition of Utopos devlog. Today is finally the day. Utopos hit Steam. So Utopos is now available on Steam. You can just go ahead and download it to your computer and play it. It's $10. It's early access, which means that I'll be updating the game probably almost daily. The first release allows 4 players to play, up to 4 players. Later on, there will be more, so probably the next step would be 8 players, and then probably like 5 versus 5 MOBA style team multiplayer. And a lot of additions and improvements is gonna happen in the next 2 or 3 months, until the game then will reach the full version, at which point the price is going to go up. So if you want to lock in the early access price, now is a good time to buy it. When you buy it now, then obviously this your purchase price includes the full version as well. So as soon as the full is available, your game is going to be upgraded to that. Now, I know that earlier I said that the game would be launching a week ago on the 22nd, 23rd. However, as often happens in game development, there were a lot of things that I was not really anticipating. Small things here and there. When you think that it's all ready for launch, then you realize that, oh well, there's still this thing, there's still that thing, and basically all of last week I was like, well, I think maybe tomorrow, and it's just funny how it goes. But I guess at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy that it was only 1 week of delay, 1 week late. It could have been worse, because I'm always very optimistic about scheduling, and I always think that I guess things are in a better shape than they are. But having said that, I'm really pleased to have the game out. I've actually played over the weekend as a pre-release, and then after release today with some friends of mine all the way in Finland. I live in the US, in Las Vegas, all the way in Finland as well as here in the US, and it's a fun game. I'm really pleased how it's turned out and how it's turning out. During playing, we've actually figured out a lot of things that could be improved, and a lot of things, a lot of ideas that, hey, you know what, wouldn't it be cool to have this or that? So many things are probably going to be changing and improving, but it's already fun. It's actually one of the coolest things about Utopos as a game is that it's almost always, for some reason, it's very even play. You end up having like playing where both of the players, if you're playing one-on-one, both of the players have 1 life left, and then you fight it all the way to the end. And so sometimes it even happens that you kill the opponent, but then the explosion destroys your ship, but then you win still, because for a fraction of a second you were the only player left on the field. But that just goes to show how evenly balanced it often tends to be. And even when I've played the game a lot, obviously, and then I've given it to some friends who've never tried it out before, and after a while, once they figure out the controls and all that, we are playing pretty evenly. So I actually like that a lot. Like, compared to some other games that are very highly skill based, where once you've played more than others, you're unbeatable. But in Utopos, there is a lot of in Utopos is for some reason quite different in that regard, where the games end up being pretty tight, and that's cool. The current arena seems to work reasonably well for even with 4 players, but with 4 players it starts to feel a little tight. So when we go from here to more players, I'd say I'm probably gonna have to create another arena that is, or expand this one, to the bigger size. And I don't know, when we go into the team-based multiplayer, it might make sense to limit to 2 teams, so it's team versus team, say up to 5 players on each side, so that would be 10 players in an arena. But to change the layout so that it has only 2 bases, and then some kind of middle area between those. Most likely, we'll see. But this is all the stuff that I'm learning as we are, able to play the game with different people. Everyone has different experience, different opinion, and when I play with them, I learn. And as I've said before, this is the first ever online multiplayer game that I made. So I'm kind of starting from scratch, from the ground level, and climbing up the ladder. And we'll probably a lot of the solutions that I have in place right now might later on turn out that I figure out a better way to do it. So if you join in on this journey early on, if you buy the game and play with me from here on out, I hope you're patient with my learning process as well. So today, along with the game, I put out a gameplay trailer. I was playing with my son today, and we made a little recording of that. And I hope that in the coming days there will be more videos available, so you can check it out. There is no free demo or free version of the game available right now. There might be at some point later, but right now my focus is on improving the game and building it on, and I hope to sell some units to kind of basically prove that this is a concept that is worth developing further. And then when we get closer to the full release, might be a time to do some sort of a free version to expand the player base. Right now it would be sort of a premature to try and get a lot of free users, which probably would then result in a lot of customer user support type of situations that would tie up my time. So as you may have seen, from the video I made the previous week, the sneak peek and the gameplay video that I released today. So obviously the first video that I put out was like work in progress and so on. So okay, so when you start the game, you're always at the bottom of the level. So there are 4 bases, but I'm rotating the map so that the local player, the one you play, is always at the bottom. So you always easily find your map. The bases are randomized, but you always start from the one that is at the bottom of the map for you. The map is symmetrical, so there's this central like a little totem here that has 4 lights or 4 fires that light up when a player joins, and they go out when the player dies. Each player has a different color, so your ship and your base and the little flame here all represent your color. So from this central area, you can go up, down, left, right to each of the bases. And then in addition to these bases, there are these 4 corner areas where you can hide, and also they often contain some random power-ups. So if you feel like your energy is getting low, you can go into hiding and maybe find a power-up to boost your shield, something like that. And as I explained earlier, there's this line of sight, so technically, if you go hide behind a wall, no one can really see you unless they go around a corner and get the line of sight to you. All right, so please help me out by spreading the word, sharing the link to the Steam page, the link to this video, telling everybody to try it out, and I hope together we can grow this community to build a larger group of like-minded people who like this kind of like online shooters. It's obviously not a game for everybody, but this is something this is a type of game that I grew up with. This was the style of gameplay back in the day, and I hope to bring it to the modern times, so to speak. So the status right now is that the PC and Mac versions are on Steam right now. They are playable, downloadable. You can go ahead and grab them. There will be a Linux version later on this week, and then tomorrow I will be submitting a build to Atari for the VCS. I've been playing it today. I was expecting there to be more work on the VCS, performance-wise and so on, but it's actually playing really nicely. So I'm assuming that I can send the build to Atari tomorrow. My estimation earlier was that the Atari version would be released tomorrow, but obviously that's not going to happen. They will need some time to review it and upload it to their servers. So if I get it out tomorrow, I hope it won't take more than a few days to get the game out. So hopefully, during this week, all the VCS owners can get to play Utopos as well. I'm not using any Steam specific stuff for the multiplayer, so the Atari VCS works together with the Steam version. It's all the platforms are cross multiplayer, so it doesn't matter which platform you're playing on. You can play against your friends on the other platforms as well. And finally, if you want to challenge me, please join our Discord. Send me a ping there. The game is currently it's divided into regions. So we have different master servers in Europe, in the US, Asia, in many countries, and players from different regions won't be able to join games in the other regions. There is a way I can, from my dev system, I can override the system and I can join to any regional server. Later on I'll open it up so that anyone can switch to another region. There's more lag and the ping is longer if you are playing from the US to Europe, for example. But my experience so far is that it's tolerable and it works pretty well. You don't really even notice the lag most of the time. So I think it's going to be totally viable to open it up, so that anyone can play against anyone around the world. In the current version that's not possible, but I think it will be at some point in the near future. The most work for me is in just creating the user interface so that you're able to actually change the region. I've found out that in multiplayer development I've spent a lot of time on the user interface. That's kind of funny. There's a lot of things I could do, a lot more things I could do, but it requires designing and implementing user interface for that. And for that reason, and many of the things are out yet that I could technically do, but because of the UI work, it will happen when I have time for that. All right, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another episode, hopefully soon. And in the meanwhile, see you in the game. Bye.